Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Edoggz Reviews. In this video I will be taking a look at the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Sky-Byte. This figure is for ages 8 and up. The figure stands about 7 inches tall, but before we go any further into the figure itself, let's get the box out of the way. So on the front of the box it's going to say it's going to take 28 steps to get from the robot mode to the shark mode. On the right hand side we have Sky-Byte on the top, and we have the shark mode on the bottom, and then further on the bottom we have the Hasbro logo. On this side of the box it says Tell All in One, Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class there. On the back of the box it says Sky-Byte. In the background we have him in the robot mode. In the forefront we have him in the shark mode. We have this little accessory which we'll talk about in length. On the bottom we have the licensing, manufacturing, and the trademarks. And on this side of the box we have an up and close picture of Sky-Byte there. On the top it says Sky-Byte by Chikara Tomy there. And on the bottom is this barcodes and things. Now Sky-Byte comes from the series of the 2001 Transformers Robots in Disguise. He is the general to the Sharkticons and second in command to Megatron. So inside the box you're going to be getting the instruction booklets that tell you the 28 steps. There's one of those steps that are missing, but we are not going to do that here. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Now, another thing, in the box you're going to be getting some accessories. We're going to get these little shoulder things. Now the one with the silver goes on the right hand side, the one with the gray goes on the left hand side. We're going to get some shark fins. They can go on either side, it does not matter. And we're going to have to talk about the weapon that goes into 3 different places. So first I have to mention a QC issue with my copy. This gray piece right here that's held by a pin is extremely loose. Now if yours like mine's, you can fix that yourself. You just need floor wax, and you need something like to drip it into that that section there to tighten it up. So you take your shoulder piece and you just plug it onto there into that port, and I'm going to demonstrate how loose that piece is. Right, so that's how loose that is. That's crazy loose. Now it's the opposite on the other side. Plug this in and it stays in place no matter where I put it. Very snug there. Now we're going to turn the figure around, and we need to plug these fins upside down because that's the way they want us to do it. Plus it's part of the transformation really. The only thing we're going to be doing here is just turning them upside down anyway. Just plug those in, right? And we have the gun. So since we're here, there used to be a gimmick on the original figure where it was spring-loaded, and it took 2 projectiles, and it had like 2 blue trigger things, and you just press the trigger, it would fire the projectiles off. And the second gimmick was on this arm, which spun the hand in a circle for the robot mode and the shark mode. Right, so I'll give you a close-up. I'm gonna see if I can try to brighten it up just a little bit so you can see what's going on. So this is what the figure looks like from the front. Here it is from the side. Here it is from the back. And here it is from this side. And I might not be able to catch the face because of the lighting I'm getting from the side, but we're going to try our best. Now the face looks just like from what I've seen. Let me see if I can get it in focus. My goodness. right? The face looks just like what I've seen in the show. It looks exactly the same on the original figure, so they did a great job duplicating his face there. Now, the one thing that is missing is his Predacon symbol. It should be right here in this circular piece. What I have discovered is that it's being held down by these two clips behind his chest. So maybe, just maybe, somebody can make this piece again, but with the Predacon symbol on it, or you could just use some stickers and you could just pop a Predacon symbol right there to kind of make it more, complete. Now, articulation going around the figure, the movement is very snug, shoulders and elbows, so we can go all the way around like that without a problem. Going outwards, it's going to get stopped by this little detail that is on his shoulder. We can spin around on the elbow axis there. We can make the arm in a 90 degrees pose there. The hand, again, it does spin in a circle. And you can do two things with this, right? So you can bring the claw down like this, or you can bring this up like that, so you can have that kind of look. You can take these yellow things and you can flip these out, which is another, gimmick to itself, right? So you can have that as a weapon of sorts, and you can also have that for the alt mode. It's all up to you. Well, back to the legs. We're gonna bring the legs all the way up, and that's about it. It's gonna get stopped because of this great piece that's at his hip, and we're gonna bring it down on his knee, which is more than 90 degrees there. We're gonna move this arm out of the way so we can show how much you're getting out of that, and that's about it. There is a swivel at the top of the thigh. There is a rocker at the ankle. You just have to move it very snug. It does not move back and forth, but the foot moves down, but that's for the transformation. Opposite side, you're not going to be able to move the top portion of the leg, the thigh portion. Only the bottom portion of the leg can you move up, like so. Now I'm losing light. Give me a second. Like that. Another thing you can do, you can move the waist 360 degrees. It's not a problem. The mouth of the shark will move out of the way when you do that. We can bring this down. The head is on a ball joint, so you can move it up. I think I already have it all the way up. You can move it down just a little bit. You can turn around in a circle. And the paintwork on the helmet is very good. They made it look like, he's been through some wear and tear there on the top portion there. And I think that's about it for that. We're going to do some comparisons, and they're kind of random. All right, so we're going to get him to stand. Can we get you to stand? No, you don't want to stand now? All right. Right, so we're going to get that in focus. Okay, that's a break. So first, we're going to bring in Cerebros because that is part of the series story. They're looking for Cerebros so they can take control of Fort Maximus. We're going to bring in Beast Wars, Megatron, the closest dragon that I have. We're going to bring in his rival, who is Jetfire. Now they probably wouldn't use this tall Jetfire. They probably use like a smaller version of him in this series, more like a Voyager, I want to say. Voyager class height. So here you go, just to give you a reference on how that's going to look. Now we're going to do the transformation. And we're going to need to get rid of this gun. Plug that back in. Now you could cheat the transformation by taking these little shoulder pylon things off, but you really don't need to. It's really simple. So the first thing I'm going to let you know is that the backpack is plugged into 2 rectangular slots into his real back. So this is like his faux back, and then, you know, his real back is right behind his arm. Let me just show you. It's like right behind here. And what they want you to do is they want to take these things right here. They want to turn them like this. So we have this movement right here. And then you do the same thing on the opposite side. Just make sure you got enough room to do that. Right. Next, you want to get underneath the nose of the shark. You want to bring this all the way up. This is the way I like to do it, because you're going to be able to stick a thumb in between his real back, which kind of sounds kind of funny, and his faux back. So you just want to unplug it like that. Next, you want to pull this way, and you want to pull the chest that way, the opposite, like that, just like that. Right. So I'm gonna see if I can get it to go a little brighter. Right. Now you're going to see these little railing systems, and the arms are plugged into the side. So we're going to start with this arm that has this purple fins on it, and we're going to bring it up like that. It's going to disconnect from this rectangular here. Actually, it's on the inside. It's right there. And we just want to simply slide forward like that. Now we're going to bring the arm up. We're going to adjust a little bit, and we're going to turn like that. So this should match where the circular thing should be. So you take the fist and you bring it down, and there's a tab underneath the forearm there, which will come into play in just a second. So you take the other arm, you want to disconnect it just by bringing this up, but this time you want to slide backwards and then bring this in. Now we're going to need to do some adjustments here. So you want to hold down this gray piece while you bring the arm up like that. So you're going to have this. Now this circle thing comes into play by turning it like that. So we're going to plug the arm in here. We're going to plug that tab into the slot. Right, everything should line up. Right. There we go. There we go. And you should have something like that. Now make sure these gray things are absolutely straight and together, because it's going to mess you up a little later on in the transformation. From here, we can just straighten that up like that. All right, so next we're going to just turn these things. We want to turn them this way, like that. Same thing, opposite side. We just want to turn them like that. We'll get back to that in a second. So these gray pieces are on like a telescopic pole or something. They slide out. You just got to wiggle them and pull. They slide outwards and it lets you get past the head of the shark. And you do the same thing opposite side, like that. So one is better than the other, like so. Now we're gonna focus on the legs. So we're gonna bring these right things down because we just want to get those out of the way. So we're gonna focus on the legs now. So you're gonna disconnect the knee portion of the leg, and it's gonna be on this armature here. You just want to bring that up, and you want to plug it into the upper thigh, like so. And again, all of this stuff is very snug. No problems, not here in this section. Sometimes you get a click, sometimes you don't get a click. Opposite side. Just bring the leg out so you can see what I'm doing. You want to disconnect at the knee. See this armature? You want to just bring all of that up and bring it down and click that. Click. Now on the feet, you're going to have these little teeth on either side. You just sandwich those together. Like that. Now you could point this down just to get it ready. Let's leave it at an angle at least. All right. So at this point, you're going to see these two pegs hanging from the back. I should say underneath the back, and they're going to plug into the back of the thighs where these two slots are. So you just bring those back. And you just plug them in like so, right? Now, before we finish, we definitely need to have these down like that. Same thing on the other side. Bring those down like that. We want to push inward these side pieces like that. If it gets out of the way, if it gets in your way, I should say, you just got to do some adjustments. And sometimes this will pop off. It's nothing that you can do about it, really. All right, so this one is giving me a problem. So we're just gonna do some adjustments here. That's probably what it is. All right, so now we're gonna bring this down like that, and we're gonna push this gray piece in like that. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. Now let's get rid of this right here. So you want to push forward, and you kind of have to find this slot for this piece to peg in blindly. There's no other way I can, phrase that. Same thing on this side. You just want to push forward, and you clip it together, and you make sure this is together, make sure all of that is together. You take the fins, you want to turn around like that. Let's diffuse some of this light. We're going to do this same thing like this on the opposite side. And then we take the head, and we want to bring it down. Right. And there you have Sky-Byte in his shark mode. We're going to look at it from this side here. We're going to look from the bottom. We're going to look at from this angle. From the back, there's really nothing really going on there. And from the front. Now this is a much better version than the first two they made. The first one had like a curve to the left to make it more menacing, and it was cool for for what it was. The second one, they had it kind of leaping out of the water type of deal, and they kind of sort of incorporated that by giving you this right here. So it still looks like he's leaping out of the water and trying to eat some somebody, you know, kind of a deal. It doesn't turn left or right kind of a deal, but hey, I like, you know, effort. This is, you know, for effort right there. I like this, right? Okay, so the gimmick for the shark mode, there will be a wheel again. It will probably be on this side, and you just push the wheel. It will spin this, and then you can do this. Now he has some abilities. He can swim at high speeds. He can fly, and he can tunnel underground. They never really explain why he can fly. You know, you just kind of let it slide, you know, type of deal. Now, you can have this gun right here. You can plug it into his mouth. And you can close it. You can kind of have that going on. Like that. Now, it does plug into the head of the shark. It's just very difficult to do that on camera, so I'm just going to skip that. All right, so we're going to do some comparisons. Where is my stuff? Oh, there is my stuff. Now, if you have a stand for this, this will be cool. I'm going to move the head down, just to have that. If you have a stand for this, that would be very cool. If you want to do like one of those little backdrops where he's in the water, that would be also cool. We're going to bring in smoke screen. This is the masterpiece smoke screen. To give you a reference, let's move it this way because I think I'm losing the light. Okay. Here is red alert. Please forgive the lighting just a little bit. And we have this right here. This is skids. And that is about it. Now the transformation does take some little bit of getting used to, but once you figure out where the clearance is on how to get like certain parts out of the way, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So he's a cybernetic shark. Before I move any further to go back into the robot mode, so we have to get this out. And I just want to showcase this piece right here, where it's like it's broken. They could have made that silver just to throw that in, right? So we're going to close this up, and we're going to go back into the robot mode. Now, certain things are different. You want to take the fins, you want to flip them backwards. Take the fins, flip backwards. Now you want to take the head of the shark, you want to just bring this up. Right? Just leave it there. And you have to get these things out first because they plug into the side of the leg. So make sure you have this out of the way. Bring those up like that. Same thing, opposite side. Bring those up like that. So hope you saw what I'm doing there. And make sure all of this is out of the way, matter of fact. And what you can do is you do the same thing when you're going from the robot to the shark. You just get your thumb, put it back here, and you take your other thumb, put it behind the thigh, and you just want to disconnect that, right? You want to separate the feet, get that out of the way, and we're going to start with the legs. Get back. So you want to bring down the legs on this armature, plug them back into the knee, disconnect from the thigh, bring them down on this armature, back into the knee, right? Feet, you want to set the feet up, make sure they're flat, like that, right? Next, we want to disconnect this side pieces, and like so, like that, and you want to turn them this way, like that. We want to focus on the arms next. We want to separate these two things, right? So you can let these drop down. It's not a problem. You want to flip up the hand. You want to turn, no, before we turn, we want to slide backwards, and you want to bring this down. You want to plug that back into place. Now we want to turn this purple thing to the right, I want to say. Right? Same thing on the opposite side. You want to bring it back on that railing system, and you need to get it past these pieces. That's the only time you're going to run into that. So you want to bring up the arm, bring this back, move the arm out of the way, and plug it into place. Right? Yeah, sometimes you get a pop, sometimes you don't. All right, so that's plugged in. Next, we want to bring this whole assembly up like that. And we're going to bring the backpack backwards, like, I want to say backwards. We want to bring it downwards. Let's say that, like this. Okay. And then we want to plug this whole thing back into place. That's the only thing that you can't see on camera. Right, so all of this should be plugged back in. Right. And again, this arm is very snug. Okay. The head of the shark, let's get this out of the way. So I like to bring this up like that. I like to fold downwards like this, so it's compact. You take these green things, excuse me, not green, they're gray, and you just want to push in like that. Right, make sure this is all plugged in like that. Right, you take these, you can do whatever you want with those. For me, I have to rig it so that this arm holds it up. So let me see if I can get that a little further up. Yeah, that's what I think I'm gonna do. Well, you give him his weapon back. Let's see if we can get him to stand. And there we have it. We have Sky-Byte back into his robot mode. He is known for his love of poetry, often composing haikus about his battles and victories. So if you ladies and gents enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you have any questions or comment, leave them down below. And please stay tuned to the channel because I just recently seen a silver boat in my local Target. So we're going to see if we can catch that one day. So again, I want to thank you ladies and gents for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.